Yesterday, we talked about the new sex ed curriculum revealed by the Ontario government. Today, a small rally took place outside Queen's Park featuring parents and politicians who are against this new curriculum.
I, like many people, am all for the change. We need an updated curriculum because it hasn't changed since 1998. And you know what? The world has. Our kids are living in a country where same-sex marriage is legal, where sexting and missteps in social media has led to suicides, and LGBTQ has become part of our lexicon. If we don't get in front of the issue, what are our kids left to do?
Not everyone agrees with you, Liz, though. Joining us on the phone today, we have Charles McVitie. He's the president of Canada Christian College, a man who, to put it mildly, opposes the new curriculum. In studio, we have Dundas social worker Gary Dernfeld joining us. Charles, let's go with you first. In less than a minute, can you tell us why you are so opposed to the new sex ed curriculum in Ontario?
Yeah, there are many reasons, but the primary reason that I'm opposed to it, and the many parents are opposed to it, is that the design of this is to completely reform the way we think as a culture and speak about gender. And this idea of teaching little children gender identity, 35 times this curriculum from grades 1 to 8 has lessons and teachings and guides for the teacher. And then they describe on page 216, demonstrating an understanding of gender identity, male, female, two-spirited, transgender, transsexual, intersex. This is not something the government has a consensus on in our society, and they should not be foisting this on our children.
Okay, I'm going to ask you, Gary, is teaching our kids about gender identity, is that a dangerous thing to do? Can you instill ideas that weren't already there? Can you actually change the outcome of a child's sexual future?
Liz, the new curriculum reflects society. It isn't pushing or making society. It reflects society. We have persons of all sexual orientations, genders, cross-gender. What the new curriculum is trying to do is help our children to understand diversity in society. And if we want to be a caring, supportive, loving society, we do have to understand the nature of our diversity.
Charles, like Liz mentioned, and Gary too, the reality is that the world is changing, that homosexuality and same-sex marriages are all legal. So why not teach our kids to understand what's going on in society instead of avoiding it? At what point do you teach them?
Well, I'm not objecting to teaching the changes that have happened in our society. I'm objecting to teaching little 8-year-olds who are trying to learn how to add and subtract and read and tie their shoelaces, to teach them these complex ideas that are nowhere in society. You don't have 6 genders on your passport or your driver's license. And before this talk, I doubt any of you could have even named the 6 genders, and your viewers can't name them. So why are we going to teach little children
well, in fact,
using gender issue? I think
our children are living. If I may, our children are living this reality. So we need a sex ed curriculum that reflects the reality.
Okay,
children
but Gary, let me ask you.
Children are living in these kinds of families.
What happens if the curriculum actually conflicts with what parents are teaching their kids? For example, a parent teaches their child not to sex, that it's dangerous to sext. The school teaches them how to do it safely. Or it talks about masturbation, that's something that's been taught is something that's bad to do. For
Liz,
right or wrong, that's just what the parents are teaching them.
The school is not out to teach kids how to sext safely. They're out to teach kids that there is this concept called sexting, and here are the dangers involved with that. So if I may, Liz, just be careful how you construe those things. So we want to arm children with information. What the research on all of this tells us is the degree to which we provide children this education, this information, before they actually engage in the behaviors, we actually delay that children from engaging in those behaviors that we're concerned about. So
Gary,
this is good information to provide.
I'm sorry, but you want to forcibly teach all of our children things that I'm sure you don't teach children. I don't know if you have children, but have you taught? If you do, have you taught them that there's 6 genders and they may not be the gender of their body?
So to answer that directly, Charles, to answer that directly, yes, these are things that we teach children in the new millennium, in today's day and age. And you use the word force. Do we want to force this upon children? No one's forcing anything for anything, any different than we're providing history, we're providing geography. Liz raised the question, what if a parent doesn't want their child to participate in this kind of, in this education? Written into the Act is parents do have the right to withdraw their children at those times these lessons are taking place.
But actually, Gary, my question was, what if the information actually conflicts with what your parents have told you? So mom and dad told you this, the school's saying something that's a little bit different. I just want to know where that leaves the child.
Here's where it leaves the parents. On all matters of family life, moral life, sex ed, relationships, we want parents to engage with children in discussions on these topics. We want parents to convey to children, these are our values as it pertains to these matters. And in fact, if providing the sex ed curriculum facilitates that conversation, that's a good thing. The research also tells us that the degree to which parents actually engage in the conversations with their children, that's how we transmit our morals, our beliefs onto our kids.
I think you hit it on the head, Gary, because you said that we want them to understand our values, and that's what this is about. This is about Kathleen Wynne and all of the people of her ilk that are saying
What does that mean? All the people of her ilk?
The people like you.
I don't understand that, Charles.
Six-gender, really radical sex teaching.
Charles, that really comes across as demeaning, homophobic. That's
save your
just.
Schoolyard
I would think that would be beneath you, Charles.
Else. Doesn't work on me, Gary.
Charles, please.
Let me spit it out, Mark.
All right, spit it out.
I think this is a despicable conversation at this point.
Let him spit it out.
And it's not a matter of rights or not. It's we live in a diverse society, and so recognizing that, and even recognizing you as being diverse, Charles, we want to provide a platform where all persons can be heard respectfully and not be demeaned in the process.
Charles?
No, you are saying that you want to completely reform the way we as a culture think and speak about gender and sex. You don't have that right.
I'm not looking for that right, Charles. I'm here.
Well, you keep saying
I'm here explaining. I'm here explaining
we
is quite typically the Ontario Society. So this change in curriculum has been endorsed by the Catholic Public School Teachers Federation. It's been endorsed by many parents groups. At this point, even the Conservative Party is supporting these changes to the legislation. So in fact, it's now a very small portion of our general population that isn't accepting and isn't well, I'm not wrong. That's the way it is.
The Toronto Star
and
gentlemen,
Charles, telling me I'm wrong and in a louder voice doesn't make you right.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. Dr. Charles McVitie, Gary Dernfeld, appreciate your time today.
Thanks, Mark.